Good morning. Ted, mga ka-tribu, it's Wednesday once again. Welcome to another enlightening episode of Straight Talk, where we delve into the pressing issues of the day that shape our times. I'm Chito Lozada.
We are live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune now on Tube. I'm Teddy Montelibano.
So today, we're honored to have with us the head for retail banking and the executive vice president of Security Bank, Mr. Rahul Rasal. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
and
sir.
thank you very much for having me on your show.
Welcome
Mr.
to the
Rasan.
show.
It's our pleasure.
Thank
It's a
you.
pleasure. Okay.
It's our pleasure.
So,
So-
sir, okay.
Yeah,
Chito,
about Security Bank, sir. Can you
provide details.
provide details on the retail products, sir, of Security Bank and
Its services.
services that it's been offering for the for now?
So, as you know, Security Bank is one of the universal banks or universally licensed banks in the Philippines. Uh, we've been, and I look after the retail banking segment for Security Bank. In terms of being in the retail banking segment, Security Bank is fairly new. We've been there for about 10 years now.
10 years.
As, yeah. As a universal bank, sorry. As a universal bank, we have, of course, the full range of products on both the assets and the liability side. On the asset side, which is the lending side, we have a credit cards business, we have auto loans business, we have a home loans business. Our simple personal loan unsecured is done through our subsidiary called Security Bank Finance. The banking side, which is the accounts and the liability side, we have, of course, banking accounts. In addition, we also have a full-fledged wealth management business. So typically, end to end, we are able to service almost every need that a customer could have, right from opening a simple account to having a lending need like buying a new home, new car, or of course, retail shopping in terms of credit cards.
And it's a universal bank. Where are you now? In the scheme of things in banking, how big is Security Bank, sir?
So if you look at it, obviously there are rankings, and typically rankings happen on different products and different metrics. But I look at each one of our businesses, and typically, if you look at our credit cards business, we would be in the top 6 or 7 on any metric that you take. From our perspective, typically we like to look at the spend that our cards drive because that's the value that we provide to our customer. And if you look at a metric which is spend per card, we would be easily in the top 3 in Philippines, which basically
three.
shows
Wow.
strength of the value proposition that our cards offer. In terms of our auto loans product, if you look at our growth, we are one of the fastest growing year on year in this market. If you look at our home loan product, again, fairly strong, fairly consistent, and we have about a 6-7% market share. So across all our products, which are our lending products, very clearly understood by our customers, very clearly liked, and a share that is meaningful.
And the strength of Security Bank is ably supported by partnerships with foreign institutions, right?
So on the retail side, the piece that I
Yeah.
typically handle, when you say partnerships, it all depends on which product you're looking at. For example, on our credit cards, we have several partnerships in terms of spending. So we have partnerships where our customers would like to go and spend. And these are local partnerships for day-to-day spend or specific spend. If you look at our auto loans business, these are developed in partnerships on 2 fronts. One, the dealer network of various brands. So we are in partnership with the dealers who are selling various brands. And as you may know, that Security Bank has announced probably only the second joint venture with an auto manufacturing which is Mitsubishi, and we will go live in 2025. In terms of our loans, we are in partnership with all the top developers, where we try and work with them on special loan products, special deals, special promotions for customers who are coming to buy homes from developers so that we can finance their needs.
So what will be the regarding? That's interesting, huh? The Mitsubishi. How would it work starting next year?
So, as of today, Security Bank is a full-fledged player in the auto loans market, and we provide the auto loan product.
Okay.
What will happen now is that we will set up a joint venture to specifically focus on and service customers who are looking for products from our partner Mitsubishi. As you know, Mitsubishi has been in this market in excess of 60 years, and they are now looking at growing their presence. They are in terms of market share, second in this market. They're looking at growing their presence through both enlarging their dealer network. Secondly, in terms of getting new models, to serve the various segments. But more importantly, working with working with us, which is Security Bank and Corporation, to provide their customers the wherewithal or the financing options to buy their car of choice.
So there's a great interest in the auto market in the Philippines.
Everybody wants to
Huge one.
have clogged highways is an indicator.
Yeah, in the traffic. Sir, there's also, Mr. There's also this partnership with Lozada, right? And
Yes.
can you walk us through with this partnership agreement with Lozada? This is something new.
So,
Lozada, yeah, the platform.
correct. So typically, if you look at it, the stated aspiration and vision of Security Bank is to be the most customer-centric bank in the Philippines.
Customer centric.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And in doing so, what does it mean from a customer perspective? It basically means allowing our customer to bank where they want, how they want, when they want, and most importantly, for what they want. So typically, when we look at our customer behavior, and in a credit card business, it's very dynamic. Very, where are our customers spending? How much are they spending? When do they spend? And typically, we keep studying these patterns because we are extremely data driven in our approach of understanding our customers.
Okay.
We realize that there are certain aspects that they would like us to bring them more offer, more beneficial aspects of relationship. And Lazada is one place where our customers have given us consistent feedback that this is where they would like us to bring specific uh, aspects or specific benefits to them. So we started working with Lazada. Lazada finds it quite useful to partner with us because they see the value and the quality of customers that we're able to bring to them. As I mentioned earlier, if you look at spend per card, this is the data that CCAP brings out, you would see Security Bank in the top three. So they realize that our customers are affluent and they do like to spend in certain areas of choice. So that's typically how we try and work with partners like Lozada.
Why Lazada not Shopee? I mean, I was just curious.
So there are certain partnerships. So we have partnerships with just about all the large players in the market. But just like I gave you the example of our joint venture with Mitsubishi, it's not that we don't work with any other brand. We work with all brands. But at
Not
points of time,
Toyota's Metrobank, but
so absolutely. So there are points of time when you find more alignment between your customer segment, your product set, and your processes with certain partners compared to others. So you just end up working a little closer with them compared to others.
yeah.
But this is this may be a special relationship, but that does not preclude us from working with all others because ultimately
Yeah.
we are subservient only to one thing, which is the wish of our customers in terms of where they would like to do their shopping.
What exactly in the partnership with Lazada? How does it work? I mean, let's
Yeah.
say if I'm a Lazada user, these are buying things online, right?
Yeah.
How does it? I mean, is it your partnership with Lazada? Does it how is it affecting me as how do you call it, a subscriber to
Subscriber, user.
or somebody a user of Lazada?
So there are three aspects typically on how you would partner with this with any specific partner. One is in terms of helping the partner understand where does your own customer base spend and how you could bring value to the partner in terms of getting your customers to spend at that particular portal. So that's the first piece. The second is that how do you drive spend there? So when somebody goes to Lazada, from the side of Lazada, there could be special benefits, discounts that would accrue only to security bank customers. At the same time, in order to bring these customers to Lazada, we would invest by saying that should you spend at Lazada, there will be special benefits accruing to you through your card, which could be extra points, etc. The third piece is how do we jointly grow our customer base? So we could have people coming to Lazada who may not be necessarily a security bank customer, but Lazada with the partnership of Security Bank would offer them special benefits to become Security Bank customers, and these customers would then get special benefits because of the partnership when they spend at Lazada. So there are three aspects, as I mentioned, of how this partnership typically works. But in simplistic perspective, from a customer perspective, is if they come to this partnership because they are Security Bank customers shopping at Lazada, they would get benefits that they would not otherwise get should they come as a non-security bank customer.
Also,
If you're a depositor in
Yeah,
security
you-
bank, it's better if much. I mean, much better.
how would this alignment benefit Security Bank? You would be reaching out to more
There, also, I was just
depositors?
wondering.
So now, if you look at depositors, typically depositors could use their debit card out in the market to
the
spend.
debit
But
card, correct.
debit card spend is not such a prevalent aspect. People have a debit card, but it's principally used to sort of just move and deposit cash through the ATM machine. So from a security bank perspective, as I keep saying, it is our endeavor to bring the best benefits to our customers. When security bank customers see this coming to them through security bank, it naturally builds up loyalty. They tend to consolidate their spends on their credit cards through security bank because they see the value of security bank credit card, which gives them specific and only for security bank benefits at various partnerships. Typically, as I spoke about Mitsubishi in terms of a joint venture or Lazada in terms of shopping and retail.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
So for the moment, we're going on a
commercial
commercial break, Mr.
First break.
Azul. Yeah.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into pressing issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Yeah,
back.
we're back. So, Ted, you're rating
Okay,
to
but
us something.
first of all, maybe we should lead off before we go into the more detailed aspects about the digital landscape.
Maybe the
We wanted to
banking
find out, Mr. Rasal. Mr. Rasal,
Yeah.
how
That's
are,
right.
yes, how is digitalization? How digitalized is security bank, for instance? And what are the technology? What kind of technology are you using, and how is it affecting the bank's performance? And
Considering the opening of the digital, the Bangko Central's opening of more
banks.
digital
Yeah.
banks.
Thank you. That's a very relevant question in today's age where everybody's speaking of digitization. But when I look at it, we go back to our base principle, which is the vision of Security Bank is to be the most customer-centric bank in the Philippines.
The most
And
what?
what
I'm
does that?
sorry.
Customer
The
centric.
most
Most customer service. Okay.
customer-centric bank in the Philippines.
Okay.
Now, what does that mean? That basically means we want our customers to bank when they want, where they want, how they want, and for what they want. And this is where digitalization plays a big role. For me, digitalization is part of the trio, which is digital, technology, and data, because these three need to work together.
Mm.
If I typically look at a customer journey, whether it is for a simple credit card or an account, there are three stages. One, onboarding a customer. Prospecting is a part of it. Two, once a customer is on board, interacting and deepening the relationship with the customer. And three is advisory, basically when a customer leaves you or has issues that need to be resolved. These are three typical aspects that we look at. In an asset product, the third stage will be collections. In terms of onboarding, I wish that Security Bank has launched this month its new Security Bank app.
App.
And it was trending, yes, application or app,
Yeah.
Oh, so there's a new security bank app. Yeah, okay.
yes, just this month.
It's gonna,
And it was trending number one in the downloads a couple of weeks back.
really, yeah.
So we've had an app.
Congratulations. And
Too.
congratulations. And can you tell us why is it number one?
Yes, so
Because
let me talk.
okay, are you a security bank depositor? No.
Not yet. Maybe tomorrow.
Maybe you should convince me out of my since I was a baby. I was in some bank. That's what I'm trying to. That's also
Say
one
the
question
brand.
I would like to ask.
Yeah.
For somebody who's been banking with institution with a banking firm that's not security bank, how do you wean me out?
Yeah, and the
Is
key
it-
word there is security.
I mean,
You always have a
I would
problem with
want to believe that the banks that I've been banking with since I was a kid offer a good measure of security.
Correct.
That they're not monkeying around with my money.
So I
No,
think
but
here,
seriously, how would you? How would you? What are the convincing factors?
Yeah.
That you would offer somebody who's interested in looking at another bank.
I think firstly, you mentioned the word security. I think that's where the regulator, and I think the regulator in Philippines is extremely forward-looking and progressive, has put into place, proper frameworks and governance, which ensures that the aspects of the customer security and well-being are looked after well by all banks, particularly the regulated banks like the universal banks that we have. Second, we come into security bank in specific. As I mentioned, there are three aspects of a customer journey. So today, if you look at the onboarding of a customer, you could typically be onboarded in a few minutes, either for your basic banking account or for your credit card. It's a matter of minutes because we have everything digitalized at the front end in terms of your KYC, onboarding, and ensuring that you're able to function as quickly as possible for your products. So that's the simplistic aspect. The second aspect is when you are on board and you want transactional convenience. For your transactional convenience, we have the Security Bank app, which allows you
Yes, you're
to perform most of your actions, whether it's any of your transfers of money through the Security Bank app
bank to
itself.
bank.
The third is we don't wait for you to tell us what you want. I mentioned that besides digitalization, we are an extremely data-focused organizations, which means we're constantly, without impinging on your privacy, studying your behavior, your patterns, and deducing the needs that you may have. So once you're on board, we are constantly offering, as a universal bank, a set of products that will allow you to make us your one-stop financial shop. So
Oh,
once you're boarded, let's say for a simple savings account, you want to transfer money, you use that using your security bank app. You need to go and spend. That was another question I mentioned regarding with using your credit card. You can use what was awarded as the best consumer product in 2023,
That's
the
right.
Security Bank cashback product, and which can come to you if you are an existing customer literally in a matter of seconds. All you have to say is, yes, I am acceptable because we're using data consistently to understand your financial position and underwrite you. We're not going to be asking you for a set of papers. It's seamless. We're using both internal data of your behavior as well as external data like bureau. A combination of these two allows us to dispense a lending product in almost no time. That allows you to go about your day-to-day needs. Or should you have needs in terms of an auto loan, or should you want to buy a new car? Again, an existing product, you get an approval same day. You're approved. You can go ahead and just go to your right dealer and complete that. Secondly, we have our own dealer partners where there are very specific uh, benefits and campaigns and promotions running for our existing customers. So that could allow you to be the next. The third is our home loans, where I mentioned we have very close partnership with the major developers in this country, which basically again allows us to one, bring to you the best of properties, two, based on the data and analysis that we are consistently doing, ensure that you have a seamless process and seamless experience in terms of availing a home loan. So, one, as a universal bank, we're able to bring you your complete suite of products. Secondly, we're able to bring them to you in anticipation of your needs. Thirdly, should you decide to invoke any of these products, our digital data driven platforms ensure that your experience is seamless and almost instantaneous. I did forget to mention that on the banking side, which is your accounting side, we also have a full-fledged wealth management system where for our wealth customers who have balances above a certain amount, you have a dedicated relationship manager who's constantly your friend philosopher, but most importantly, your advisor on your financial needs.
I see. So, Mr. Rasal, how do you size up the traditional banks, digital banks, and e-wallets in terms of competition?
Frankly, I look at this a little differently.
Okay.
I think this is an ecosystem. The center of this ecosystem is the customer, and there are various groups of customers who can go for their needs to these different aspects of the ecosystem that exist today. Allow me to put some simple facts in place today. We have at last count about 118 million of our countrymen. So there are 118 million Filipinos. Now, if you look at traditional lending, it would probably be done on something like a bureau data. But I've met there are only 10 million people on the bureau. If I'm looking at TransUnion as one of the standard bureaus, which means there could be 100 million people who don't sit on the bureau today. Now, these people could also have needs because traditionally banks, universal banks would service customers who have a certain wealth profile, who have a certain income capabilities. Whereas a certain set of people who are not being serviced by traditional banks, not for any reason, but because they're probably not their target segment. So clearly, aspects of digital banking come into play. Because if you look at digital banking, these are banks that are serving, probably the underbanked or the unbanked.
Yeah.
And the whole concept of distance, which is branches of the banks, goes away because digital is to you. And digital are then able to underwrite them on certain different aspects. Like today, if you are, let's say, one of the telecom number holders, then you could be underwritten on a telecom score because it correlates to your credit worthiness.
Correct.
So each one of these players has a strength, each one of these players plays a role, And each one of these players subscribes and serves a certain target segment. I see very little overlap in these segments served by these particular aspects. Digital wallet is something different. It sort of moves across the spectrum because that's a payment convenience. So to be fair, I use a digital wallet, which is Gcash, and so does my driver
Gcash.
because that's a
Gcash.
payment convenience. That's quite different. If, if that's sort of responding to how you see, how these three are able to service various customers.
So rather than competing, they can be complementing each other. And
And
so,
allow me to sort of place this because I think you raised a very pertinent point of complementing each other. So look at the strengths rather than saying how they're disrupting. I would say look at the strength of each player.
right,
And I'll start with what you call traditional banks, but I would refer to them as universal banks
universal banks.
because I think one, they have a base of customers who've been with them for a long time. So there is a customer base, and ultimately today, without a customer base, you can do nothing. And these customer base have been with these universal banks, so they've developed trust. I think that's the most critical aspect of banking that the universal banks bring. Trust.
Trust.
Two, these banks have understood these customers and tried to service them through products or their needs through products. Hence, universal banks have a clear strength in terms of product formulation, product construct, and linking what we would call as the needs of the customer to the benefits of the value proposition. Universal banks bring in capital, they bring in governance, they bring in the safety of capital. So, clearly, these are very clear that universal banks bring in. Fintechs, on the other hand, have shown capability of agility. They have no legacy, there's no legacy systems, they've brought in new technology. So clearly, technology is what the fintechs have brought in. And they've brought in the ability to leverage this technology to gather new prospects and customers. So that's the strength that they have. So if you look at it, these two to come together, there is a strength of front-end technology, ability to gather customers through new means of communication, and then you move on to the strength of the universal banks, which is the right product, risk management, governance, framework, bringing capital.
Okay. So, Ted, you were ready to ask something about the safety of
Yeah, I mean,
banks and
well,
dealing with banks.
I've had, I've had of late some. Well, I wouldn't call it. There's always a constant fear when you do online. Can we talk about online banking? If you're a lot of people, a lot of I'm very conservative with my money. It took me a while to get into online banking. Trust, as you say. I needed to build up trust, even with the bank that I have been banking with for the longest time. But how safe is online banking? Even the use of ATMs now. I was asked. I had a nasty experience once. I checked my balance and then the balance wasn't. There was something wrong with the balance.
That you
Anyway,
expected.
the bank eventually gave me back my money. It was I don't know how they did it, but it took about a month. And then, so I was asking, I was just very curious. I said, what if the owner of this bank, you mean to say even the owner of this bank, if if he or she is using an ATM, there's no 100% guarantee that it won't be monkeyed around with? Sabi niya, I'm sorry, but no. There's no, it's not, that's why you cannot put a lot of money in ATMs because it's only really for, for,
Your daily
if somebody,
expenses.
if somebody robs you of that money you put in, but that's not, I mean, the convenience has a price to pay. Is that correct?
Yeah, how safe is
How safe is,
Security
let's say,
Bank
number one
in terms of
for
hacking?
ATMs, for instance, how safe is a Security Bank ATM card from being
So I will break
scammed?
it.
From being scammed, you know.
Let them
I
know.
will break it up into two parts.
Yes, please.
Okay.
The physical interaction, like ATMs, and a purely virtual interaction, like online. Let me break
Mm,
it up.
okay, that's a
Within
good
that,
one.
I will place three aspects which I spoke about earlier. One is the core technology that you use. Two, the data that you're analyzing. And three, which is most critical and often missed out, which is consumer education.
Oh
Okay,
yeah,
yes.
that's true.
That is the third
So
piece,
consumer education, the data, yeah, okay.
which in my mind is the most critical piece and often gets the least importance, not at security bank. Allow me to tell you this simplest fraud that is happening today. For whatever reasons, people get your credit card details because you would have left it somewhere, given it to something, and they try to do an online transaction. The online transaction generates an OTP, and this is a
No, that,
very secure way of doing things because it can be generated only and only on your registered mobile number. Now, the simplest way is then they simply have somebody call this person and say, "Oh, I'm calling from XYZ bank.
Okay.
You have received an OTP. I'm trying to help you. Can you give me the OTP so I'll help you complete the conversation and the transaction?"
okay. And people
Now,
actually fall for that. People actually fall for that, huh?
now it is the responsibility of the banks to ensure that people don't fall for it. Because often, and particularly the vulnerable is the slightly aged population, think of this as another act of service.
Yeah.
There is and no amount of technology on this planet will help you come out of this particular aspect. It is only and only customer education.
True. True.
So typically, the moment we see any transaction that is happening on a card, for example, these typically are very brute force attacks. You would typically see somebody trying to do a 100 peso transaction 100 times in 1 minute. You can recognize that. Now that's where data comes into play and technology comes into play. The moment you see such kind of a transaction, your data has to feed into technology and say, hey, there is something wrong. Nobody can swipe their card 100 times in 1 minute. And that data and technology together has to trigger a clear communication to the customer saying, are you doing this transaction? Please tell me yes or no, because if you're not, then we want to block it to prevent further issues. And that's what we do. But if somebody receives an OTP and hands it over, there's nothing any bank or any technology can do, which is why I try to separate physical interaction with virtual interaction, and within that, technology, data, and education. And I think this is where banks need to come together to
True.
share bad practices that they see in the market and to develop clear-cut customer education programs. And for example, on credit cards, you have CCAP, the Credit Card Association of the Philippines, very active on these aspects in terms of pushing banks to try and see how we can educate customers. At Security Bank, again, since our vision is to be the most customer centric, we are consistently educating our customers on what they should not do more and more often than what they should be doing, because
Yeah,
what you should not do is what's causing your frauds.
it's true.
So you should rest assured, as far as Security Bank is concerned, that we are watching your transactions, not for any reason, but for your protection.
Yes,
So the
sir.
moment we see any aberration in data or your patterns, we are onto it in a flash, and we will be checking with you.
Oh,
Because
very convincing.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry, sir. I think that we need they're calling us for a commercial break again.
Yeah.
But please hold on. That's a very interesting conversation.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
And this break is brought to you by Angkas, Beat the Traffic, Bayad Center, Hashtag Bigger Better Younger Bayad, and you can buy it all. Meralco, ang liwanag ng bukas. SM, we've got it all for you. Smart, live more today. Union Bank, it starts with you.
Tune in to Daily Tribune's show aimed at addressing the needs and problems of our OFWs from different corners of the globe. Hear about their plights and success stories every Tuesday and Thursday, 3 p.m. only on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
Straight Talk dives deep into pressing issues of leadership, politics, business, and more. Engage in insightful conversations with industry shakers, government leaders, and trailblazers every Wednesday at 10 a.m. only here on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now in YouTube.
Talking about chicken. We're back, Ted. So you were asking.
Yeah, we were asking, is Mr. Rasal here? Mr. Rasal, are we with you? Are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No, sir. So,
I can
okay.
see you.
How do you? Yes. Yeah. We were talking about this
Safety.
this very challenging digital age that's getting into the banks. No, the banks are getting into a lot more, and the banks, we want to believe is doing a lot of security to make a lot of measures, that are here that are assuring their customers that okay, you bank with us, even especially digital, and we will assure you of the security.
Mr. Rasal, your camera seems to be blocked, so we can see you.
We can't see you.
Is this better?
Okay, yeah, very good.
Yeah, better.
So we were talking about that, sir. We were talking about how safe are we in a digital age? How safe are our deposits?
As I said, in terms of how safe are we in the digital age, and that's where the bigger risk sits. And let me talk about that. In terms of deposits, how safe are we? There are clear-cut governances and frameworks put in by the BSP.
Yes.
These are
Yeah.
strong, progressive, and each bank is supposed to follow it. There is no way out of it. So that brings about natural safety from a policy perspective. The challenges will lie, obviously, as you interact in the virtual world. Can you protect customers? Because no policy can protect customer education or can replace customer education. So as I mentioned, the banks are putting in technology. The technology will ensure that working with data, they're able to pick up aberrant patterns.
Yeah.
Based on aberrant patterns, there is a clear-cut communication that will happen with the customer to confirm certain transactions. And in such cases, being a customer-focused bank, we will prioritize customer safety over convenience, which means a customer may be slightly inconvenienced because we'll be asking this question to be sure. We are ready to take that risk of customer inconvenience to protect the customer's assets. So that's point number one. Point number two, technology and data can protect you as long as it is technology that can intervene and take a call. However, as I mentioned, discipline as a customer handing over an OTP, then no amount of technology can protect you. That has to be taken over as customer education. And that's where we keep focusing on customer education, telling them what and how they should interact in the virtual world. Because technology, like it brings you convenience, can also bring you this aspect of fraud because there are always bad players in the market. So
yeah.
That's what I say.
we are consistently investing in data. We are consistently investing in fraud prevention modules. We believe that we are the best in this market today, where the patterns are detected, highlighted, escalated, communicated to customer to prevent fraud.
Great. Okay. Well, maybe we should ask this, no? With so many, have you asked this already? The comparison.
Maybe you should ask Mr. Rasal, since you highlighted the consumer education, what type of measures have Security Bank taken in educating consumers? Not only the depositors, but the consumers in general.
So the core issue here is customer protection. And there are two aspects, as I mentioned. One, what can the bank do to technology and data,
So said, yeah.
which I would
Yeah.
argue is consistent investment from our side. The second and more important is in terms of consumer education. We obviously hold seminars on a regular basis, but that cannot be done on a mass scale. That is done for a certain set of customers which are high net worth, where they are consistently advised on financial well-being, but at the same time warned about what could be going wrong, both in terms of a process as they interact and transact, as well as in terms of markets. But from a regular customer perspective, there are a few things that we do regularly. One, at every transaction, we send out every time a customer transacts with us in the virtual world, there is a certain message that goes to the customer which warns about what they should be careful about. In general, we are consistently, whether it's to physical, to the statements that they receive, or through consistent communication, telling people about what are the things that they should be careful about. And as I mentioned, the simplest case is Security Bank does not call you up for your OTP. It does not have people asking for your personal details. We don't do that. So if somebody does, it's a red flag. The first thing we
Correct.
need to do is not give. Second is update Security Bank so we can protect anything else. So customer education is a consistent aspect of our interaction with customers.
Okay. Here,
Okay.
okay. Maybe one last question. With so many banks in the market today, sir, what factors should consumers consider in picking the right bank? Right bank for their financial needs.
It's a difficult question to look at, but a
I
fair
mean,
question.
okay.
I think each bank has its own strength. No banks are equal strength. But more importantly, every customer is unique and has their own requirement. You need to first look at what your requirement is and how does it match with the strength of the organization that you want to bank with. I can speak for Security Bank. What are our strengths? As I mentioned, we have a complete universal set of all loan products. Now, if a 21-year-old is, a new person is new to banking, is coming to bank with me, it's an opportunity for them to bank with Security Bank because they could start learning their banking with a simple product like their salary account sitting with us and a simple credit card. Security Bank, based on your relationship with us as you grow, will consistently understand your lifestyle needs and patterns by understanding how you interact in or transact in the financial world and bring to you new products which we think could befit you as you move around the cycle. So it could be your auto loan for your new car 3 years into working. It could very well be when we see some transactions, which are marriage related to your house. So it could be a very standard way to sort of lead you. But the difference being, Security Bank is understanding you consistently and proactively asking you, maybe this is your need. So with Security Bank, irrespective of what lifestyle you have or what life stage you are in, we have all products to meet your lifestyle and life stage needs, and we bring them to you in a very seamless, proactive manner. So my only, sometimes you have a very specific need, which could be, I need my loan tonight, and I don't mind paying the convenience, the charges for that convenience because I need it in 2 hours. That is something too that Security Bank can provide you today if you're an existing customer, because we have proactively understood your needs, your income,
Into
and we have
ours.
tried to keep it ready. So, Mike, it's very difficult to answer how should you choose your bank. It all depends on your need at that point of time, your lifestyle. But irrespective of what your need or your lifestyle or life stage is, Security Bank will service you on every aspect because we are digitalized, we are a universal bank, all products are available from our side. If that answers your question, sir.
Yeah.
So, very convincing and assuring. Huh? So, Mr. Rahul Rasal, can we get your parting words, sir?
Oh, are we done already? Really? So
Kinda.
fast, huh?
Just
45 minutes. So at this point in time, sir, some parting words.
I
good.
firstly thank you for having me. I think it's a great service you're doing to consumers in general. Because I mentioned, if there's one piece I believe that needs to be brought on, it's customer education,
Yes.
consumer education. And I think you are the pioneers in terms of bringing this. I would like to use this platform to communicate to consumers that banks on their side are doing their best to bring to you the best products, the best experience, and the best processes. But consumers have to be vigilant
Okay.
because there are fraudsters out there. Be careful in terms of reading terms and conditions that banks send you. Be careful about the education that banks send out to you.
Sure.
And lastly, to anybody, for any need, Security Bank is here to service you and my countrymen in Philippines.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Rasal.
So
Thank you very
thank you
much.
for joining us on another insightful episode of Straight Talk.
Yes.
We hope you found today's discussion as enlightening as we did.
Yeah,
Thank
big
you.
thank you to our guests.
My
Yes.
pleasure entirely.
And
So
I
a big
guess
thank to you, Mr. Rahul Rasal, the head of the Retail Banking and EVP of Security Bank, for sharing his valuable insights with us.
remember, if you have any questions or would like to continue the conversation, you can reach out to us to our social media channels, Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website for more updates. Okay.
So-
This is Teddy Montelibano.
And this is Chito Lozada. Until next time, wishing you a great day ahead.
Yeah. Stay informed and stay engaged. Thank you.
This public service announcement is brought to you by Meralco.
Isang magandang araw mga kaliwanag at ganun na din sa mga katribu. Nakakalungkot nga ang nangyari sa marami nating kababayan dahil sa pananalasa ng Super Typhoon Karina. Daming pamilya, lalo na sa aming mga customers sa Meralco, ang naapektuhan at nalubog sa baha. Kaya kami sa Meralco naging puspusan ang pagtugon namin sa mga pangangailangan ng aming mga customer nitong mga panahon na ito. Hindi po tumigil ang ating mga crew kahit malakas ang ulan o mataas ang baha sa pagbibigay serbisyo. Mula sa pansamantalang pag-alis ng supply ng kuryente para maiwasan ang aksidente, hanggang sa muling pagbabalik ng supply sa oras na ligtas na ang sitwasyon. Napakahalaga po ng public safety para sa amin dito sa Meralco. Kaya bago po namin ibalik yung aming serbisyo sa mga lugar na lumubog sa baha, o gayon din sa mga nasirang electric facilities, sinisiguro namin na ligtas muna ito para sa lahat ng customers ng Meralco. Ini-inspect po muna ng aming mga tauhan ang mga lugar na nawalan ng serbisyo ng kuryente para malaman kung ano ang naging sira o problema sa aming pasilidad. Kapag nalaman na namin ang naging problema, uumpisahan ng kumpunihin ang mga pangunahing linya ng kuryente. Sa oras na ito, darating ang aming mga equipment at mga kagamitan na gagamitin sa pagsasaayos. Una po naming inaayos ang aming mga linya ng kuryente na nasa main sections. Kapag okay na ang main power lines, ay susunod natin agad ayusin ang mga linya sa mga kali at mga kabahayan. Ito po yung dahilan kung bakit maraming mga bahay ang hindi agad na ibabalik ang serbisyo ng kuryente noong kasagsagan ng bagyo. Dahil maaaring wala ng baha sa kanilang kalye pero sa kalapit na mga lugar, lalo na yung sa major sections, ay hindi paligtas na ibalik ang supply. Ngayon, fully restored na halos ang serbisyo ng kuryente sa lahat ng apektado at salamat sa magigitin nating mga line crew na 24/7 walang tigil na magtrabaho sa kabila ng bagyo at baha, walang tigil sa restoration efforts doon sa mga lugar na apektado. Saludo kami sa inyong lahat. Bukod din sa pagre-restore at pagsasaayos ng linya ng kuryente, tumulong din po kami ang aming employee volunteers sa Meralco Rescue sa disaster response, partikular sa mga pagsaklolo sa mga na-stranded dahil sa baha. Agaran din nagbahagi ng libu-libong relief packs ang One Meralco Foundation para sa mga pamilyang pinakaapektado ng bagyo sa iba't ibang bahagi ng aming franchise area. Nakabantay pa rin po kami anumang oras upang agad rumesponde sakali man magkaroon muli ng service interruptions o anumang emergency situations. Layo namin na ayusin ang aming pasilidad na naapektuhan ng bagyo sa lalong madaling panahon. Maaring mag-message ang aming mga customers sa aming mga social media channels kung sakaling may iba pang concerns. Ako po muli ang inyong lingkod, Manong Joe, hanggang sa susunod na episode natin.